dog walkers came, and I got involved in some videos over. I think it was Facebook. I don't know, one of them. So, but yeah, this these people they they took this dog and I guess they kept him for days, tied up, cut off pieces from his skin, and they in the video on YouTube over here said that it was too graphic for them to put it on the video. But he lost faith in people. I thought it was I don't know, I just thought it was like the most terrible thing. But I guess this is an actual real thing where people are literally have fun torturing animals, and people come together and do these horrible things to them. So I don't know. I guess that's why it just reminded me I needed to stream more about these cruel things that people are doing, because it really bothers me when I see things like that. Kids being tortured, just people being tortured in general. Torture does bother me. I feel it's a bad practice. I mean, I don't understand why people think this is a good thing or a fun activity, but it terrifies me that Chong could be out there one day, and maybe that's why I have all kinds of stuff to make sure he doesn't get loose or just lose his way home, because just thinking about those poor dogs out there that are getting abused and everything, it breaks my heart. It really does. So, oh, the husband's actually coming home, and the restaurant is releasing him. So I guess this will be cut short. So I'll stay in here as long as I can to try to get a tarot reading done or two. But yeah, I I have to be over here live streaming for these dogs that are getting mercilessly are being tortured on the street. I have to, because it's horrible what these animals go through. And if I'm not over here live streaming for these poor puppies that are being abused on the street and tortured, who else will? You're what? Oh, it's really not that big. It really isn't. It's just average. But yeah, I was watching some videos and it just bothers me. I guess that's why I started live streaming about all these people that they torture animals for fun. And I guess it's a street practice now. Because I was asking people about this, and I guess it's a real thing. These people are going around on the street and torturing animals. And they take them and they just do horrible things to them. And then they just leave them on the street with wounds and all kinds of stuff. They're even cutting off dogs' tails of strays. It's terrible. And I don't know. I guess it's one of the reasons I'm up here, because I want to make a happy dog village where all those people that have nothing better to do but cut off a dog's tail and their ears, and for what? I mean, they can't find anything to do with their life. On a Friday or Saturday night, let's go and cut up a dog or a cat. It's ridiculous. People, I guess it's a practice. People are getting drunk and on drugs and they're just cutting up animals. I mean, something got to be done about this. I don't know what or how we're going to do it. Oh, you're funny. You are funny. No, I'm not one of these sex people. I'm actually over here trying to stream for a dog village because I don't want these dogs being tortured. I can't take it. My heart can't take this no more with the dogs being tortured. I gotta rescue. Oh, well, that's good. But I don't know it. I was on Facebook streaming about this, but sometimes you don't. I don't know if Facebook was my outlet. All of a sudden, a button opened up over here. I was on Instagram to try to get my dog village too, and then I ended up over here. I want to get a bunch of land and start a movement to be good people to be good to dogs. Oh my god, my throat. I got bad sinuses. It's been hay fever weather too. But yeah, it really does bother me. I actually started a whole because I got a whole humanitarian movement over at Facebook. I had 6,000 people that was humanitarians to follow me because it's terrible about these poor animals, and I wish there was a way to get to the people. I feel this would be a better solution. Dogs are family over here, are wonderful. I love them. And I love the other animal activists over here. But I wish there was a way to get at the abusers. You can never find them. They never admit to this stuff. I would like to start a little detective agency to find out all these people and start investigating just dog crimes. So, I mean, they everybody thinks they could do what they want to a dog because that's what they'd like to do to a human. That's my conclusions on that subject, and I think it's disgusting that people just do horrifying acts because they know if they do that to a human, they gotta have more questions. And who are these people? Because I would like to know. Because I would like to truly meet them and maybe one day just do a thing, just go around and just give justice to these dogs. I get a lot of them are rescued, but why should they just, it's okay, they're rescued, they're fine, and they did all this stuff, and no one has accountability for these dogs. If I could be a lawyer, I'd be a dog lawyer. I really think I would because I think people are horrible that do this, and these animals have no justice, and I love animals. I like them better than people. I really do. Me too. That's why I'm over here trying to get a little dog village. I want to get little huts made like this guy in Poland because I was trying to figure my real ultimate goal, and this is my ultimate goal. And he actually had a whole village made and these little tiny little huts. I shared it to my Chong group over. I got like 6 of them, but my main Chong group over there, I shared his story, and he's a veterinarian, and he lives in there. And then he had all these little tiny house huts made, and they have these dogs, and they got a little front yard and everything. And he's in Poland, and he had somebody build all these little tiny houses, and he would train the dogs and show them, and then he adopts them out. He's really cool. I think I would like to do that, but I think he had his own house or something like that. I would live in the middle. And then I would have all the dogs that I'm getting ready to be rescued, learning how to adjust to a house. And then I'd have to have a screening process for the people that took the dogs that I made ready to go, and it would be no kill. And then if nobody came and got them, they would just live in the village till they took their last breath, and then I'd have a doggy cemetery. These are one of my dreams. I know it sounds very childish, but I think it would be a fun idea. And it would get my point out that people are horrible. And anybody that could be horrible to a dog is horrible. Because I've known people that love dogs and animals in general and have been involved in bad activities, but they still like animals. There's murderers out there and serial killers that like animals. Some of them don't, but most of them do. Jeffrey Dahmer was kind of really a different character. He actually did torture animals among the people, but not all of them are like that. But like Charles Manson loved animals. One of the most notorious, and I want to say most famous killer. And he did it so skillfully because Charles Manson never really touched anybody. He never hurt anybody. He influenced everybody to do it, which was a good ploy. And he just came from a very dark background, and because I read his biography years back, and it was real good too. His mom was a prostitute, and I think a drug user also. So he didn't have a strong respect for women, but he was very smart. I mean, like real smart. And he ended up a lot of times like being neglected. She never really beat him or nothing, but it was a more of a neglect thing, which was, it's terrible, but it would have been nice if but then Jeffrey Dahmer, he grew up in a really nice house with really good Christian parents, and he ended up being notorious. So even though Charles Manson came from a poorer background, I think maybe the two would have had the same dark path. I do. It's one of my crazy things that I do. I like to investigate the people that potentially may want to kill you. I feel it's like you're finding these out. That's why, I wish I had access where I'm afraid to go on this black web, but I bet on the black web is where all these dog abusers are. I wish there was a way. I wish there was a way that you could, I guess, find them. But then if you get in that dark web, I heard they come to your house and they can like put secret cameras and murder your family. But there's a way of going around skillfully in doing it. I feel that you could get a lot of these dog murderers. Because how many dogs have mercifully died from wounds or whatever from these awful people? Awful people. And I think that they just do things for fun, because I remember there was a video 2 years back that was on Facebook, and I think it wasn't supposed to be there. It was really horrible. I reported it. It was a picture of a puppy. It was a golden lab being eaten by a snake. And I'm an editor, and I can tell raw footage from non-raw footage, and it was real bad. I was crying. I couldn't even watch the rest of it, and I don't know what kind of sadistic person would do that, but somebody actually filmed this activity. And it got sent to me, and I couldn't even watch it all. It was terrible. It was truly terrible, but there has to be a way of catching these guys. I mean, just catching the victims and saving the victims all the time. We need to get it to where it starts. They're doing illegal breeding, and I think that they just sell these dogs and do whatever. Oh, hello. How are you? I am doing tarot readings too. I'm just talking about this awful dog abuse and how I want to find these abusers and bring them punishment. And I know they have a lot of dog laws where I live, but it goes. Dick Goddard started that in Ohio. He was like one of the true meteorologists, and he started all the dog and animal movements. And they call it Dick Goddard's Law. And he started where you can get a felony offense for animal abuse and stuff. Because he's great. I actually met him once when I was younger. When I was way younger, and I used to march in a lot of parades, and I was in the Woolly Bear Parade when I was a kid. And I met him, and I lost. My mom couldn't find me, and I ended up running into Dick Goddard. And sometimes in my life, I have good luck, and I find famous people at times. And I think he was one of the most famous people I ever seen, because I really thought Dick Goddard was wonderful. He was so smart, and he was great. He ended up dying of COVID. It was terrible loss. He was one of the best humanitarians of. He was a great humanitarian for Ohio. Great. We were lucky to have him. He actually didn't. He could predict a tornado if he wanted to. So he was, and not a lot of them got to go to the National Weather Service because you got to have a special schooling for it. He actually could do all that himself, so that's why he stayed on Channel 8 for so long, and he was the highest paid weather forecaster for ever. Him and Dick Goddard would only do 5-day forecasts because he had a lot of principles. And this is what I liked about him. Everybody else was doing 8 to 10 day, and he did not. He said when he did the formula and figured out what the weather was going to be like, that was the most accurate of 5-day. So he refused to do that, and then all these other channels were doing 8 to 10 days, and he literally was the most accurate. He really was, and people don't think he was, but he really is. I mean, it's sad he died of COVID, but he was so rich. Oh my God. All the land that man has, because he went down to history for the best meteorologist ever. I don't think that there's anybody as smart as Dick Goddard. If I think there are, I'm not saying he was the smartest, but I don't think that they would be the more like in the National Weather Service or something. He just chose to stay home. He was getting paid very well. He had pretty much his own station that backed him, and that was it. And he was so good at what he did. He really was. I'm gonna really miss him. There's so many people that died that were so good at what they did, and like John Candy, I think he died. Yeah, well, he died way back ago, but John Candy, I didn't know did cocaine. He's such a funny comedic actor, and this man had never done cocaine. Well, yeah, he did do cocaine. Elvis was pills. Jimi Hendrix was funny. His death. He actually drowned in his own vomit. Jimi Hendrix. I don't know. I think that would be a horrible way to go. I mean, being such a star and a guitarist, and he ended up literally dying in his own pew. It's sad. It really is. But these are the things that pique my interest, and sometimes it disturbs my own brain. But I don't know. I kind of just want to go and just, I don't want to say I want to hurt these people, but I do want to teach them a lesson. Whatever they did to these dogs, I want to do back to them. But I'm sure none of it's legal that I want to do. So I don't see how I can. And it would be very hard, but these people are just awful. And I could see taking pleasure in, no, somebody that something horrible happened to somebody and you didn't like them. I could see that. But to take pleasure in an animal being tortured, I mean, what is wrong with you? On so many levels, how much of a human being are you really? Because people that act like that and stuff, oh my god, they have to be like on the level of weirdness. They got to be a 10. That's just weird. That's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde crap. I don't understand it. One minute you're nice, one minute you're not nice. How are you supposed to have kids or a family or even be a decent human being and with that kind of energy? I mean, you're just on your way of being to a serial killer or something after that. And a lot of psychiatrists, all through psychology and stuff, they do say this, that if you're mean to animals, you will hurt a human being and you'll hurt a kid. If you was to abuse a dog, you will definitely abuse a woman or a child or another human being and take pleasure in it. A lot of psychiatrists do agree. So that is facts. And I've been trying to figure out the reason why they want to do these things, because it's not true vengeance. How can you hate a puppy? If you can hate a puppy, I don't know. It's terrible. It really is. Because I could see not liking a human being. Because they're horrible, they're backstabbing, and sometimes they're fake. So I mean, I get that totally, but not a dog. Oh, I'm good. The Boss. I like that one. The Boss. Is that a YouTube channel? I like The Boss. I mean that's kind of that's a nice little one. That must be your thumbnail or something. I'm not this cool. I just literally just go around and spend all day in a corporate medical building and come home, and I don't have enough energy to think of cool stuff. I'm lucky to get makeup on and my hair somewhat decent in the morning. But that is a really cool thumbnail. I'm just afraid it's going to give me bad karma if I change it, because it's the first one I had with my dog. And I feel if I had a really cool thumbnail, it would just take the integrity of my basic, simple dog village raising channel out. Because I think that's what I want to do. I just want to literally live in the middle of my dog village and just every day just worry about the dogs I'm saving and the dogs that I'm finding good homes for. And you can have cameras going like the zoo. Because the zoo does that, and it's genius because they generate money to help for funding for the zoo, so all the animals can eat and their homes are safe. So, and they do protect endangered species and everything. And they stream the cameras, and you could watch the monkeys at 3 in the morning, at 1 in the morning, and it's a real thing. And it's wonderful because I like to observe animals. I find them interesting. I like them. I like the gorillas. I like the red butt monkeys. They're funny. Me and my younger son, when he was a kid, and my first husband, we went to the zoo and we went by the monkey cage and these red butt monkeys, and they were fine with me and my older son, but they didn't like my younger son. So these red butt monkeys would look at my younger son. They would take their ass, put it by the glass, and then smear poop by him because they literally hated him. And then we just thought maybe, sometimes monkeys can be dirty because they do throw poop. Because my friend had a pet monkey, and I went to the house and we were drinking a little. I was younger, and this monkey was throwing shit. I had to leave. I told him, I was like, I get it. I like monkeys, but I'm not going to be sitting there dealing with that. So I went home. And anyways, this monkey, it was funny because we thought he was just acting up because monkeys are nasty sometimes. So he just that monkey, I guess, did it every once in a while, and I had enough. I couldn't have one in my house. I feel if it's in a protected land, it's good with people that are qualified to take care of the animals. And usually, animal rescue people are in the field or they're being trained by somebody, an expert in the field that volunteers. That's what make these wildlife sanctuaries very good. So this is why all this takes money. And if everybody was nicer to everybody and animals and everything in general, it wouldn't even be that big of a deal. You wouldn't need all these sanctuaries. We're spending millions and millions and millions of dollars to save animals, and if people would just let well enough alone, there wouldn't have to be so many. We're spending out money because people are crazy. This is what happens. I don't know how this. I guess you could get a bad gene being a human. They say that you could. If there's a gene for alcoholism and a bad gene for mental health issues, and then they say that like cancer is one of those a predisposition. It's like you have spots in your DNA and it just pops up sometimes, but it's deep in everyone's DNA. It's just when two people have a baby that have a high cancer background, it usually pops up. But that's just fun facts there. I've come across a lot of animals. And then I used to have a friend that had a pet wolf. I went to go visit her one day. I knocked on the door, she told me come in. And she had a full wolf. I'm talking like 250 pounds of pure wolf. So I came in and the thing was on top of me with his teeth next to my neck. And finally she called her wolf off. Wolf dog, whatever the hell it was. And then he was fine. But certain things shouldn't be in your house. I think that was just too much. I was not going to rat on her about her dog back in the day because I just sort of be careful if he does that to the wrong person. I think he did, and they had to bring him to a wildlife sanctuary. But I did not rat on her. I liked that the wolf liked her and they loved each. That was his owner and it was nice. But I wouldn't rat anybody, but I told her somebody would, and I think somebody did. But I don't like to be the one that actually starts people's anguish. Also, I can't do it. So, but I'm gonna end this because my husband's literally coming home from the restaurant, and I do work a 12-hour shift, but probably a late night stream because I get home like 7. I am gonna try to go in the living room and maybe stream for an hour because I'm trying to make a conscious effort to actually stream an hour a day because I have to be consistent. My kids are always used to tell me about this consistency with social media. So, but I'll be back. I did make an effort to come back, so I'm gonna check all these texts and he should be coming home and then I'll be working for 12 hours. So after that, I'm gonna make a conscious effort to get over here. Hopefully, it's not the day from hell, but this happens sometimes when you work, especially in medical. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow and have a good night.